What's happening, people? All right, so my content's for educational purposes only. Can't stress enough for you guys to do your own research. Appraise my content. Throw any errors you find in the comments. None of us have been alive long enough to know all that transpired in the past, and none of us can live long enough to know all there is to learn. All right, touch on a topic today that I have yet to touch on, and that is being comfortable in toxicity. What do I mean by toxicity? By toxicity, I mean, being comfortable doing less than honorable things, being comfortable in your own negativity, being comfortable in just operating in a less than honorable fashion. Doing things under the supposed cover of darkness that you wouldn't do in the eyesight of others. Or, just being comfortable and being overly negative in your affiliations, relationships, and actions overall. One reason I think it's a good reason to, do what so many have yet to do, and what is basically one of the hardest things to do, and that is check self with the same energy you check others with. We done all seen it, and all of us have probably been there. We're overly critical with others, and we want to sweep our nonsense underneath the rug. One main reason why it's good to check self is because I don't think any of us likes to be dealt with, harshly or with a reckless abandon for our feelings. On top of that, we all want to be treated a certain way. So, you get what you freely give. You really can't expect somebody to deal with you righteously or honorably if you can't extend it freely. Reason why I'm bringing this subject matter to the channel is because, again, the climate of today's society. There are a few facets and tentacles that I see as being responsible for the either complete lack of moral fiber or the willingness to set aside others' feelings and the perception in error that everything's all about us, or it really doesn't matter how we treat others, but they damn sure better, they damn sure better treat us how we want to be treated. And it just don't go that way, you know. Another reason why it's not so good to do that and to carry about like that is because, excuse me, you can run a lot of opportunities away from you like that. When people understand based off of experience and observation that you are what's considered uncouth, or you just don't know how to deal with people, or you live your life based upon some sort of double standard that other people's feelings or positions are irrelevant next to yours. Excuse me. We all know somebody that operates in this fashion. And as the saying goes, even good people get tired of being good to others, especially when it's not reciprocated. So, it may seem insignificant, the title and the subject matter that I'm speaking on right now, but you got to keep in mind the universal laws, man. No one escapes the law. What you give out will find its way back to you. Some people feel like, it's even a song. I don't know the guy's name. I forget his name when he says, it's all right when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. That type thing. And what tends to happen is when we're not willing to take a look at ourselves and take responsibility for the things that we do and the ways in which we treat others, then you end up getting that same energy back. And once that same energy revisits your doorstep, at that point, if you're still not willing to take a look at yourself and your actions and change some of your ways, then things could definitely escalate from there. The other side of that coin is for people that fit the mold that I'm describing to you. A lot of times, and it's just the reality that those individuals, or a lot of those individuals, or at worst case scenario, a certain percentage of those individuals are hurting. And we all know hurt people, and they have yet to submit. When I say submit, I mean, if you hurting and you carrying around some traumatic baggage from some shit that happened to you in the past, it's your responsibility. See, it all goes back. It all goes back to self. As adults, we have to be responsible for our state of being. At some point, we have to take responsibility for the things that have befallen us. Because until you do, you're going to continually project those inner feelings and emotions onto others. And eventually people are going to, extract themselves from your circumference. You know, because the bottom line is nobody, with the exclusion of nobody, has to deal with our shit. Especially when we're not man or woman enough to deal with our shit. Excuse me, man. Excuse me. Okay, so how do I know these things? I know these things that I'm speaking about because I know myself. Took a while, and it wasn't easy. I had to do the same thing that I'm suggesting. Excuse me. It came a point where as though I had to look myself in the mirror. I had to learn how to be considerate. I had to learn how to have empathy, you know, which is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Okay. I had to learn how to put myself in someone else's shoes, you know, and it wasn't too hard for me to do because it ain't too many situations I haven't been in. It ain't a whole lot of mistakes I haven't made, you know. Then the process of literally growing up. You know, a lot of us, you know, of an adult age, you know, have the appearance of maturity. But true maturity is the recognition of and awareness of and responsibility of self, as well as others. Those who you can't seem to get along with or see eye to eye with or find a way to compromise with, you need to back up from. You know, it's the best way to operate, because if you're no longer dealing with an individual that you can't see eye to eye with or can't come out of odds with, the best thing to do is to give them their space and extract your energy. Keep it pushing. You know, especially if you got things to lose, because, you know, when when you aren't willing to deal with your toxicity, you know, you're bound to run across somebody else that is also unwilling to deal with theirs. And that is a recipe for the circumstances where something has to happen. Because if you're, you know, late 30s, early or mid 40s, and you still have yet to deal with your toxicity, and you run across somebody else close to the same age bracket, then it's safe to say that you're stuck in your ways and you're stubborn. You know, so in those, you know, circumstances, it's easy for a situation, and 9 times out of 10, they're minuscule, they're minor, they're minor circumstances that can lead to a situation where as though something has to happen, you know. You know, a lot of us have yet to put our pride and our egos in check. And, you know, not to be redundant, but lot of us really don't know who we are yet. We haven't woken up to the true essence of who we are. You know, when you know who and what you are, then there's certain things you're not going to do, certain things you're going to stay away from. But when your level of discernment is not developed enough to embody the foresight to see the way a situation could potentially, turn out, then you'll walk right into it. You'll walk right in. We see it all the time. Somebody that did X, Y, Z, which warranted circumstances to befall them, or circumstances that they created based on their actions and lack of discernment and awareness / foresight. And they're still not willing to take responsibility for the part that they played in the provocation of it. Oh, well, they did this, and okay, but what did you do? And they not, a lot of people is just not willing to deal with that. Just something I wanted to touch on and bring light to, and because sometimes, man, the reality is people need that mirror held up to them so they can see themselves. We have a lot of physically grown, childish individuals. They still operate in the mindset of an adolescent child. Been there. And when I started seeing it for myself, the ways in which I would respond and react to things, I didn't like it. I seen myself to be a lot more, So that's, for me, what necessitated the changes that I've made. And at the end of the day, man, it's, we're supposed to be evolving. It's really no excuse for any of us to be exactly the same as we were 15, 20, 30 years ago. That just shows that we haven't evolved. We haven't changed. We haven't grown. So, not to beat a dead horse. So, I'm going to just let this one ride. Hopefully somebody was able to extract some type of light from this, and if you embody any of the characteristics that that were depicted in this video, it can't hurt to take a look at yourself. Be honest with what you see. And begin the process of eradicating what no longer serves you. Because a lot of times we can be our own worst enemy. And if you're not willing to deal with the part you play in that, you'll have your finger pointed. Another part of evolution, though, is, before I get out of here, is, emotional intelligence, man. And again, man, we're not, I can't really say that we are the blame for only, having access to a few emotions, anger, anger, happiness, and, frustration, things of that nature, when there are at least 12, emotional states that we could be in, and the way the system was geared that we were born into, it restricts the mind. And if somebody's able to restrict your mind or the growth thereof, then that only spells out limitation. So for any of us that have made it from childhood to adulthood and have yet to evolve emotionally, whereby one can control self, then it's kind of safe to say that you're hardly in control of self, because all it takes is for somebody's insignificant actions or words to throw you off the handle. And once they see that, they definitely going to use that to garner whatever type of result they want out of you. I've been there as well, So basically, man, this was just a video on some keys, for any of us that are tired of, repeating cycles repetitively, beating our head up against the same wall and wondering how we keep, bleeding from the head, figuratively. It's because we have yet to extract the lessons that are meant for us to extract from things that we go through. And unless and until we do so, it's inevitable for us to repeat these cycles or to continue repeating these cycles, whether it be with the same individuals or individuals that have the same vibrational frequency. So just a little, little something to think about. And y'all be easy. Catch y'all on a new one.